Hi guys, it's week 3, isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. And this week's topic is when you found out you were trans. Sorry if I'm not talking too well. I've got kind of weird breathing today, I don't really know why. So, when I found out I was transgendered, it's a bit interesting, I guess. Because for some unknown reason, don't remember when I found out specifically the word transgender. I don't know where I saw it, how I found out. I know it must have been on the internet. I remember the age, kind of what made me realise, but never when I actually found out the word and thought, that's what I am. I know I did, but I don't remember what the circumstances were. It's really weird, and I had to tell this to like every psychiatrist and doctor I meet, and it's all a little bit weird, and I feel so silly. Being all, I don't actually know. But I was 13 years old, so in the midst of the beginning of my puberty, I guess. I didn't really have a late or early puberty. I think it was pretty normal. Started probably around 13, maybe a little bit earlier, and then sort of kicked into gear around 14, 15 probably. One of the main things that made me start to realise that I was in fact male and not female, weirdly enough, was things like slash fanfiction online, so like, you know, romance between men. I read, so like, gay stories and stuff, and I got really into them, and that was just kind of one thing. I thought, yeah, okay, some unknown reason I like gay men, I like reading about gay men, that's pretty cool. I like bands with gay men in, I like pretty men, I like effeminate men. And then, over time I started to realise and think, you know, this is what I want. It's not just that I enjoy reading about them, it's something I identify with and I find appealing. So I didn't have these notions of heterosexual romance in the future, but homosexual romance between men. And it was really the main thing that made me start to think, wait a minute, I would much rather in the future that I were a man dating another man, rather than being a woman dating a man. I mean, I knew at that age also I was attracted to men and women, but the whole gay thing appealed to me more. I think I was attracted to females more as a female, and then as I got older and then I started to transition, I didn't become less attracted to females, but rather I felt less inclined to have relationships with women. I'm more inclined to have relationships with men the more other people started to see me as male, because it was this whole gay romance thing again. So yeah, I mean, I came out at the age of 13 as well. As soon as I like knew what this was and I knew what transgenderism was, it clicked like immediately. I was just all, well, that's what I am then. That must be it. And, you know, I was just all, wow. So I spoke to my best friend at secondary school, and I was just all, I have something to tell you. I'm transgendered. This is what transgenderism is, and that's what I am. So when I'm older, I don't want to be a woman. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be this long-haired, effeminate man. That didn't quite happen as many times as I tried. But no, I predicted that, you know, no matter what it took, no matter what the process was, I would be a man when I was older. Of course, I didn't quite entirely grasp the thing at the time that I was already male. Just, my body didn't match up. But it didn't take me long to realise that, and I already started using the internet with male names for myself, so I used a male identity online and stuff, as a preteen, and then as a teenager as I got older as well. And that was just so much more comfortable to me and made so much more sense. And also, I had notions from before 13 as well. When I was 11, when I first started going in secondary school, I think when I was in primary school, so when I was under the age of 11, I was very tomboyish, but I liked girly things as well, so I didn't really have any kind of notion of, oh, I want to be a boy. But when, pretty much as soon as I went to secondary school, I started, like, daydreaming, imagining myself as a boy quite a lot. I don't tend to think about this very often, because I tend to stick with the whole, I was 13 when it happened. But there were suggestions of it, and I did think about it a lot before then as well, but it didn't really hit me until puberty kicked in, and I thought of it hand in hand with relationships. So sexuality and gender together. That's when it really locked into place who I was. I mean, one of the main tips I can really give to people who are looking at themselves and thinking, could I be transgendered? Could I not be the sex I was born as? Is just not to put too much pressure on yourself. No matter what your age is. Obviously, if you're older, then it's one of those things where you're all, oh my god, but if I am, then I have to get on with it because it's a late start in life and stuff. But the main thing, no matter how old you are or what situation in life you're in, is to not put too much pressure on yourself. People are always going to be difficult about it when you do eventually come out or try to transition or do anything to change your life for the better. You may have a very accepting family, you may not. Some people may be great, some people maybe not. People are going to be complete dickheads about it, and some people are going to turn out to be amazing. The fact is, there will always be people who are going to be amazing about it, even if it takes you a long time to find them. It's hard, but yeah, you shouldn't force yourself to be all, well, I've got to be one or the other. Either I force myself to be this, or I change myself to be that. You just have to relax. Gender and gender roles are not very, very strict anymore, and they shouldn't be. So you shouldn't try and define yourself really, really strictly, because you may end up shoving yourself into this tiny box, and by the time you really want to express yourself, you've already given yourself this label, and you can't get out of the box by that point, so you end up trapping yourself. Which has happened to me in the past as well, when trying to define myself as a lesbian at one point, and other things like that. So that by the time you're just all, no, I am a man, everyone's just all, but you said you were a lesbian. You should try not to define yourself too harshly, because you could change within minutes or years. It's one of those things. Everything is really fluid, I think. So you just have to sort of be calm and let the good times roll, as it were. So yeah, you've just got to calm. That's the best advice I can give to anyone, I think. Just to let things take their course, but be a little active as well. Do your research, look into things. Try and talk to other people if you can about their experiences and see if your experiences match up. But ultimately, no one can tell you if you're transgendered or not. Only you can know. So have a good week, everyone. I'm sure everyone else's videos are going to be absolutely awesome. I look forward to seeing them myself. See you next week.